I'm Steve, as always.
I'm Cory.
And we're Frame Your Neighbor. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going even further back in time. So we've already done a video with our SRTs from like the 60s and 70s. Yeah. And today we are going to be shooting some brownies.
So I got both of these over the course of the last 20 years, of course. And I've never shot either one of these. So I have no idea how they actually work, how well they perform, if the lenses are clean or even good. So this is kind of like a new ground for both of us, actually.
I'm going to be shooting the Brownie Hawkeye. Both of them have fixed lenses.
Yes.
It's just a shutter speed. So I looked it up, and roughly I think the aperture is f11 fixed, and the shutter speed is 1/30th of a second. And you can do long exposures with the side button, but that's it. There's no focus. I think the focal length is it's either 3 or 5 feet. After 3 or 5 feet, everything will be in focus. So that's the desired length.
Yeah. And for mine, I do have f16 or f11 just by holding that guy up. It doesn't like to stay up because it's old. You have two viewfinders, so you can do a portrait, or you can turn it sideways and do a landscape. And then just a simple click. I do have the ability to do bulb as well, but I would have to hold that too, so that can be a little cumbersome sometimes.
Yeah. So they're roughly the same kind of age. They made the Hawkeye from 49 to 61, and it takes 620 film.
So mine is made in 1946 to 1951, so a shorter period of time, and it takes 616 film, which was Kodak's exclusive film, just so you had to buy their film for their camera. You can't get that anymore, so what I have to do is I actually have to come up with a way to fit 120 film in there using a 616 reel that's down in the bottom. So
yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to it because basically it's going to be the camera's job, but whether they turn out well or not. I just point and click. There's no focus or anything. Just point it and click it.
The original point and shoot.
So yeah, I'm anxious to see if they turn out terrible. I'll just blame the camera.
Well.
All right, guys.
Go shoot?
Yeah. Actually, we're going to go downtown. I guess we should tell you that. Yeah, we're going to go downtown. Obviously, a lot of area, a lot of different stuff. So
I think it'd be cool to get some architecture shots and line work and bridges and things like that with these.
I might try to take some sneaky shots of people. So we'll see.
Ooh.
All right, guys. Welcome back, everyone. So this was an interesting experience. So mine wasn't nearly as interesting as Cory's. So these Hawkeyes take 620 film, which I don't make anymore. I used 120 on a 620 spool. Yes. So almost identical film, just the spool is different. And mine was pretty good because mine actually, you could see the numbers. So mine actually, functionality-wise, worked pretty well.
Yeah. Well, mine was not so lucky. This guy takes 616 film, which the reels aren't even made anymore, and I did not order the adapters until after shooting this. So I had 120 on the top, and I was using the 620 reel that came with this, or 616 reel that came with this in the bottom. Then I was changing all my film in a changing bag because I was rewinding it back onto the 120, and I could not tell how far. I had no idea how far it was advancing or anything like that because the way how the number lines up with the window in the back, it's a wrong film. So I've now figured that out, but I lost a lot of good images.
I think you got a lot of good images though.
I got some. I'm not.
They're cool. Don't let them fool you. They're cool.
They're not what I was hoping for.
They're not normal, but they're cool.
Yeah, typical for me. But overall, this camera was pretty cool. It was neat to just like click and move along. There was no thought process behind it. It kind of reminds me a little bit of what the modern Hawkeye is, which you don't have the control on either.
Yeah, I like that about this, that I didn't have to focus or do anything. It was literally just point and shoot. So it was kind of a fun process to do that. It's interesting because everything's kind of in like reverse a little bit. It's
with the mirrors.
It takes a lot to frame, and then like also tilt is a thing too. So it took a little bit to like frame everything, but it was pretty much once you get it framed, just push a button. So that was cool. It was easy, quote unquote. I mean, whether or not, how the photos turned out was up to the lighting. You had to kind of pick, because you can't do anything with the lighting. You basically have to pick, is this going to turn out or not, and kind of choose it that way.
But that kind of brought it back into our challenge, which was learning how to use these and seeing what we could get. So, you want to go first with your image?
Sure. This is the first one I chose. It washed out again, so you can't. It's really hard to control. Being obviously you can't control the lighting, but
yeah,
it washed out a little bit on the left. I'll probably mess with it and post a little bit to like make it nice. But it's basically just the park. I don't think we're quite in a cultural district, but like right around there. The park and just the buildings. I like the building, the dark buildings, the reflection. I thought that'd be a cool photo. And overall, I like it. I don't know. Yeah. Probably, like I said, I'm gonna try and darken that a little bit.
Your blacks are black. You go into your right tonal range. I think just maybe the sun was reflecting off of a window nearby and that blew it out.
And I think it's framed well. Yeah. So that's why I like it. I think it's framed well. Yeah.
So this one here was just a cool texture on a building. Obviously, it's all the windows of this. And then, of course, you start seeing some of my double exposure when I did not know how to frame. So I had this little ray going along on the top, just creeping down in.
I mean, it is. I didn't really notice that. It's cool, though. I mean, I like the patterns. As a photo in general, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like just the patterns and the tones of the gray versus black versus light.
Yeah. So that was my first one.
This wasn't a sneaky one. I actually asked the guy to take a photo, but I like it. He was a nice guy. I also carried my Minolta around to try and get my new Minolta. I was trying to see how it worked. I was carrying that around and he noticed that, so he was talking about cameras. So I asked him if I could take a picture.
I think when we crossed the street, he was like notating how we had really old cameras, like the old processes with it. Yeah, he was, I mean, political opinions aside you'll see, once you see the photo, you'll see what it is. But political opinions aside, he was a nice guy. Whether or not we agree with either point. But yeah, he was very nice. He talked about cameras and he posed for a photo, and I like the photo because it's a portrait and I don't do a whole lot of portraits. So yeah, I think I was changing my film while you were doing that, and that was But, all right. This one does not have a car in it. The one that actually came out better, that you see more of the bridge, has a car in the road, and I don't know why I snapped it at that point. But I really liked this shot. Yeah. This one doesn't have a car in it, so that's why it's in there. Yeah.
I like the white of the how it
eye beams coming out. Yeah. I want to reshoot it, and I actually think I do want to take this back out and try it again. Now that I know I can only fit 6 images on a roll, not 15, which I should have known better. But that was just like a cool thing. I like the cloud in the background too.
It looks stormy. I have a bridge one. I don't know if it's the next one. It is the next one.
Yeah.
It is literally the next one.
I mean, I think that was right around the time when it was getting ready to...
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely wasn't as stormy as it looks, but I think that's cool.
Yeah.
I definitely like how the dynamic in the same thing with mine. You get the bright white lines, and it like darkens here. I like the dynamic of it.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite ones from the shoot.
Yeah. I think I just like the bridge in general, so of course I have a little more emotional on it.
Yeah.
All right, again, another neighbor shot.
I like that it's a silhouette.
It is, and I like the fact that the bike in the background's actually almost perfect.
Yeah, everything in the background came out really clear, actually.
This was me shooting the last of a frame or something like that in this camera, and I just was like, well, I think this will come out, and I just did the whole click. Yeah. I don't even think you knew. You were changing film in that, and so, yeah,
it's cool. I like that it's a silhouette.
Yeah.
I really dig that part of it. And again, the background came out super
matches
good.
Our darkroom picture of you.
Kind of, yeah. A little bit. This is my other one. This is actually one of the first ones I took, actually.
Yeah.
Because this is early in the day. This is one I really like the composition, how it turned out. Again, it was hard to frame stuff. That's really the only thing we had to do is frame stuff. So I like how this turned out. You can still see the detail in all like the bricking. You can still see the detail in the back across the train tracks. You can see all the chairs, repetition. I like it gets the window with the lights.
The lights almost look like stars, and it's a cool shot.
Yeah, this is probably one of my maybe second favorite ones, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I like this one a lot.
Just a couple people walking down the street. They were wearing kind of goofy.
I don't know what those pants were, but they're. Yeah, I almost took a photo too because I was like, I don't know what this dude is wearing, but it's interesting.
Yeah, it was my quick sort of shot and it's crooked. It's it is what it is, but it's just kind of neat, something fun.
Yeah, I like it. And that one actually turned out probably balance-wise the best. Like nothing's blown out on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the background.
Yeah, everything came out really, really even. Yeah. The blacks came out black. Like it's a really well balanced. I like the lighting in that one. That one came out probably like not composition. No, compositionally is good too, but like the balance-wise, I think that was like the best, one of the best ones.
Thanks.
I chose this one. I don't necessarily. It's not my favorite photo, but it's really easy to do double exposures with a Brownie Hawkeye, so I try to do a double exposure. And so this one I think is cool because you can actually see the double exposure. I tried other ones and they didn't quite work out as well. But I went into this not having an idea of how I was going to shoot it, but there was like a cool tombstone under some shade and trees, like in front of a church. And I thought with the white and the dark, it would imprint over differently, which it did, which is cool. And I took it not thinking what I was going to put over it. And then I realized that there was a protest outside of a Planned Parenthood clinic. And I thought that was probably my best bet. So I did. And again, I like that you can see, because you can see the trees, like in the dark doorway of the building, you can see the trees from the first shot, and you can actually see like the outline of the tombstone, kind of like between the door and the window. So I just like this because it's the first double exposure I've done. So I liked it because you can actually see. I mean, compositionally wise, it's okay, but like the fact that you can actually see both shots is pretty cool. So I like that.
So this is not a true double exposure. This is just me not knowing where the frame was, but I know you really like this shot.
It's a double exposure, just half the photo.
It is. I mean, yeah, and I got a couple others in here that ended up being kind of cool, but this one, I mean, the statue is from one different area of the city, and then this just showed up in front of the golf building.
But it fits where it ended up exposing. The overlay of where things got exposed is compositionally very cool.
And I think if I were to actually print it or really work on it in Photoshop or something like that, I could probably get that line to blend a little bit easier.
I still like that it's there.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe not quite the drastic difference between the two.
It's cut, so.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I got some old people selling fruit and bickering. Yeah, so we came across a farmer's market in the one park, and there's this old couple that was selling fruit and vegetables. And there was a guy buying fruit and vegetables, and the woman was doing something, and the husband came over, and they started bickering about I don't know what, but I thought it was a cool photo. So I just like the subject of this one, pretty much. Yeah.
I know the shot that I took while you were doing that didn't come out, so I'm glad at least something came out from that park in that area.
Yeah, it was cool.
This is another one of those happy accident of double exposure, but the reason why it's in here is because of the way how it lined up.
Yeah, it lined up perfectly.
It's unintentional. I don't know how that happened.
Perfectly, yeah.
But just another from that terminal.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of cool.
I really like all the not all the happy accidents, but all the big happy accidents you had turned out some really cool photos.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty crushed on a couple of these that didn't come out, and my one roll of film didn't come out at all. But some of these, they made up for it.
Yeah, some of the mistakes are actually really cool mistakes. This is the building. Is it quite in the strip? I don't know if it's in the strip. It's getting pretty close to the strip, but it's not actually in the strip.
Yeah, I would call it the strip.
Yeah. But it's just an old building with old signs on it, so why not take a picture of old buildings with old signs with an old camera?
When they used to paint them on.
Yeah, so that's the only reason I took it, and that's the only reason I like it, is because it's an old building and looks like an old photo.
I think that's when I got the picture of you through here. I think that's when...
Okay. Yeah.
And we'll show those at the end. The fountains at PPG, just it looked kind of cool as a double exposure, especially with the lines in the back, and it kind of continues. So
I like that one's further out and sharper, and one's closer in and blurrier. Yeah, well, not blurry, but like washed out a little more.
Well, and that could be with the exposure.
There's a dynamic with both pieces.
Yeah. But it was just something kind of cool, trying to capture the water movement and see how fast the lens actually was working.
I like it. Yeah, mine got completely screwed up.
You were going.
That all was on my second roll, and I think that was the one that, like, I think in development, I think it kinked in the roll, and all that entire roll just got destroyed.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like a light leak or anything. It was like zigzags of patterns and stuff. So I think literally developing it, I think, messed up the film.
Yeah.
And so I got nothing off that second roll. Well, I mean, I got stuff, but it's all messed up. My last one, I guess the dynamic range. I mean, it's a little bright through the doorway, but in general, I like this. This is probably another top 3 that I like about this one. And actually, the first time I ever went out, I took a picture of that sign.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because that's the same alley we went out the first time.
Yeah, I mean,
I was more this way and focused on the one way, but like, yeah, I've actually taken a picture of that sign before. Totally different setup, but I like this because this is dark. This is like middle ground. That's bright. It's a little too, maybe I might try to darken it a little bit.
You still got that foreground, midground, background thing going on. You got your tonal range in there. I know I really like that, and I'm upset that my shot didn't come out, but no, I mean, it came out pretty good.
Yeah, I like that one.
I know you like this
I
one.
like that one a lot because there's 3. Not only is it 2 overexposures, there's 3 of them.
But this kind of goes into like graphic design, I guess. I mean, in my mind, it reminds me of some of the stuff I used to see in Edinburgh. But
they're all balanced too. None of the photos are too dark or too light. They're all balanced really well with one another.
They all kind of cut into each other.
Yeah, and I actually like the streaks too.
Well, that's all PPG. That's the PPG building.
Yeah,
so it's like the fountain was coming up afterwards.
Yeah, I like it even better now.
So 2 Market Square and PPG.
Right. Yeah.
And then
I really do.
And I was trying to get like the people crossing at a certain point, but you know, obviously you kind of lose that. And then that was just the only alley one that I had that kind of came up, and I think that is right before your alley. Like I think that's
it's right around there. Yeah, because that's the lighted like alleyway, right?
Yeah. But overall, I mean, I'm excited for this. I had to tape it off. I wouldn't mind seeing what color does in these.
Yeah, I definitely do. I want to put 35 mil in there, like color.
Oh yeah,
and try some cool stuff.
And now we found some adapters too, where we might be able to do that. But yeah,
it was cool. I liked it. It was. I'm gonna say easy is not the word to use, but like using the camera is very simple. We'll put it that way.
I was gonna say it was simpler to use.
It's just literally push. It's photo.
Oh, you got it.
Right.
And then.
So I like that. It was cool. It wasn't. Other than framing and shooting, you didn't have to adjust anything else. So that was different for the first time doing it that way.
Developing the film is a little more of the issue too.
Yeah.
Because it's wider.
It's wider. Yeah. Much wider.
Yeah.
Probably at least twice as wide. Yeah, it's fun. I liked it.
Yeah.
I would definitely mess around with this camera for fun. I mean, it's light enough that I could go out and do a normal photo shoot and just carry this along. Just like randomly grab it and do a shot. So.
But yeah, we had a lot of people talking to us about these too, so it was kind of cool. Yeah, and that's it for now.
We'll catch you guys later.